All right.
Go!
Neutral button. No warrior now.
This part.
Microphone check 1, 2. What is this?
Biggest moments of the year. Excuse me.
Well, I feel like we're that meme of those three little white kids sitting on the couch that they put the caption at the bottom.
What's
You
the
want to
caption?
talk to your friends? The podcast one. The podcast meme.
Which one?
The one with a big picture and
Yeah.
someone listening to
That's not what you're
headphones.
talking about.
No, I'm talking about the three white kids that are sitting on the couch that are like 11, and it says at the bottom, is 6'9" a bitch for snitching? I think they put Maul's Young Boys as one of the memes before, too.
That's right.
The audio. It's gonna pick that up.
We get back in.
I don't know, Roy, because I don't look at pictures of white kids.
I figured this was our way to come back in now.
Oh, all right. Biggest moments of the year. For me, naturally, Tory and Meg is high on that list, but that's not where Joe will start.
No.
I will start with a story that I took personal satisfaction in, personal pride in this story developing right before our very eyes. Oh, Jada and Will in August.
That was number one for you?
Hey,
Moments of the year.
Messy, man. You messy.
Not any corona vaccine, presidential race.
No, buddy.
That wasn't it.
The perfect Smiths, not the perfects.
Yeah.
Not something going wrong with the perfects.
That's true.
Yes,
Look at you happy to see
Yes.
this downfall.
that was awesome to me. August being messy, them replying Red Table Talk, him having an album, the internet being confused. This went on for weeks. I loved every second of it. One of my favorite stories of the year, also one of the biggest moments of the year.
For sure. But it's just unfortunate because it kind of just
You're proud of that
It's
one.
Came and went.
Nothing unfortunate about everybody in the situation getting their rocks off.
Facts. Everyone got fucked up.
Everybody got fucked and was happy. No, it was only the internet mad. Like, oh my God.
No, I'm saying it's
Ironically, only
unfortunate.
August is upset. Smith's is cool.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why it's unfortunate because it's like, yo, you did that for what?
August, you were a messy little thing this year. You get my messy little thing award.
Yeah.
I'm giving you my messy little thing potty.
Who else was in the running?
A lot of messy. Me?
You was a messy little thing.
No way. This year? Nah.
This was one of your cooler
Behind
years.
closed doors.
Come on, this is for the cool.
Yeah, this is one.
I didn't think I was so messy. Yeah, listen, salute to the Smiths. Salute to August Alsina. I thought that was an amazing just tale unraveling right before our eyes.
Yeah.
These guys don't seem to have
It was
appreciated
entertaining.
as
No, it
much
was.
as me.
I appreciate the entertainment.
Got a lot of
I
memes.
appreciate cleanups. Cleanups are funny to me.
Yeah.
Like watching the bullshit that you could see through with a straight face
Yeah.
is my favorite thing. Like
Yeah.
this sit down with Jada and Will at the red table was the funniest cleanup I've ever seen in my life.
Will was tight.
Will just sitting there agreeing like, yeah, you were a bit entangled, huh? Meanwhile, knowing what Will had already said to her 6 months earlier, I told you not to fuck that little kid in my house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Let
the
it be a
fact
lesson
that we-
learned.
We could tell he said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Okay.
pretty transparent in the
Okay.
video.
Sure.
Good.
And the people that just bite and agree with the cleanup, like, oh, how mature these two were. Look at Will
Yeah.
going through it. No, he said what he had to say. He's over it now.
Yeah.
That's why this looks so mature to you.
And here's the bullshit about all this. I'm the only person that really enjoyed August's album.
Yeah. He wanted to.
Yo, niggas didn't fuck with that album.
No.
I loved it. Some of his best work.
He's talented.
No, he's very talented.
Talented.
He leaned a little too much into that. And wasn't it like 40 fucking records on that?
It was, a lot of records.
It was just that he didn't realize that those two names would overshadow and overpower anything he had coming.
Yeah.
They didn't care about the music. It was about the story after that. It wasn't
And he
about
beefed
music.
with Joe for calling him messy.
Oh no, he can't
miss
beef
that one.
nobody for. Come on, you got to be real, because you know that was messy.
By the way, I think that's a really interesting point Mo just brought up. That's not just to August, but it's to a lot of artists that try to go after the big moments or the big beefs to do their rollout,
Yeah, sometimes
not
the names are
realizing
bigger than-
that if you do a rollout too good and too much with fucking attention, no one's gonna care about your music.
No, it's just
you need
cool,
to
too,
balance
though.
the idea of I'm putting music out and I need to put out a good rollout that has attention, but the attention needs to be the music, not that I fucked Will Smith's wife.
No, but not only that, it's
Because
that
the Smiths will always be up here no matter who's making music unless you top fucking tier.
yeah, but you not only that though, it's Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what you got coming after Will Smith's name is mentioned, nobody hears it.
Yeah.
It's Will Smith, and that's just the bottom line. That's
Hey,
why.
I'll put it this way. Will Smith's music is behind Will Smith.
Exactly. So it was a messy moment for August, but he is talented, and I hope that 2021 he gets back to just the art of music. Leave the messy shit alone.
Talented kid.
Yeah.
True.
I agree. Big stories for you guys. Tory.
Yeah.
I mean,
Probably the biggest story
Still ongoing.
of the year, right?
yeah.
Or one of the biggest
I don't
stories.
think we'll fully understand that sentence. Like, fuck the year of just the existence of hip hop. The sentence, whether what happened, and we will find out, of Tory Lanez shooting Meg Thee Stallion. Just that sentence in hip hop
It's
is
crazy.
fucking wild.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck this year. That's a hip hop moment from 1978 to 2020.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. We've never heard anything like that. Never experienced anything like it, like we spoke about when this first happened. This was definitely one of the wildest stories in our culture's history, for sure. And if this is what indeed happened, which is this still an ongoing case, it makes it even more unfortunate because
Why?
two talented people,
Yeah.
you know, somebody will go to jail, prison for it, somebody is traumatized for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate all the way around. But this was definitely one of the wildest stories in our culture.
No question.
What else was big? What else was big this year? Versus was big in the year. I'm still on creatively. I'm not on,
Sad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because all of the protests this year were big for me too.
Absolutely.
The Senate seat changing was big for me. The election, all of that.
It was this year. It's been a crazy year.
The impeachment was all of that stuff was big, but creatively, right after D Nice comes Versus for me, boy did they just provided a lot of bright spots and a lot of back and forth that I just never thought I would see.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was the brightest moment of the year to me.
Probably
Like,
so.
I know our listeners have joked about this is the Versus cast now and all that shit, but like if
It
you
is.
see the impact that shit had this year and how I hate the word uplifted, but it was such a great moment to be like, oh shit, we get a Versus this weekend.
Yeah.
Finally, I got something to do.
And what do they
it's all
expect,
the music
man?
I like.
We did Versus ourselves for fun for years on the
years,
podcast. So of
hypothetically.
course we're going to talk about Versus when it becomes an actual thing.
I mean it's
Sorry.
barbershop talk to begin with. Now we get to see it from the legends, and they get paid for it. And to your point of bringing everyone together the way D Nice did, we have a common thing to talk about that we all love.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's what I was about to say. Outside of the creative genius behind Versus and what it's done and what it's meant for people, the business and the back end of now showing some of these companies and executives that there's value in your old catalog that maybe you didn't know how to get to today, that was big.
Yeah.
And it was also, again, for the generation now who wasn't familiar with a lot of these artists, their back catalog.
Yeah.
I think that
Old niggas, I never envisioned to be sitting home saying, hey, how do I get my streaming up?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it happened.
It happened. Yeah.
So, I mean, man.
I especially like the early stages when it was songwriters and producers where you don't necessarily, those are people that aren't as known, you know what I mean? Because especially now there's no credits on any platform. Shout out to Title, who has credits.
Which I would like to call out Versus for. I think that was B. Cox that asked me if I thought Versus would ever get back to the producers and the writers, and unfortunately my response was no, just because it's Apple involved now.
They want superstars.
The cachet seems to have changed a little bit, but I would love to see y'all get back to writers and producers and things of that nature.
I disagree a little bit. I mean, not to take anything away from E40 and Too Short, both legends in their own right, but still somewhat niche as far as what their music was. Of course, they have huge hit records, but that's a very Bay Area sound, and they still did that. I don't think it would be odd for them to go back to the Brian Michael Coxes of the world that wrote #1 records for decades. Like, you're still gonna play really popular music if you go back to certain writers and producers. Maybe the name isn't, but that's just how you market it. You have to figure out a way to market who these writers and producers are to get people to watch. Oh, they wrote all this for X, Y, and Z.
Right.
That's a marketing thing. I don't think it's far-fetched to say they'll go back to the legendary producers and writers.
Yeah, because
Okay.
we're not
I
that
hope
far.
they do.
We're not that far removed.
I won't debate with y'all about it. I mean, I hope y'all are right.
I understand
would love
your
to,
forecast,
I would
though.
love to see it.
Well, I mean, I love the writers and producers shit just because I'm a music nerd, but I'm also love pop music and I love huge records. So it was such a great marriage of highlighting the people behind the scenes that put this shit together, but we could also jam out to records that everybody loves.
Yeah.
Like, the nerd in me loved all that early versus shit.
Me too.
I thought that was great. Like all the way through the Sean Garrett shit, like it was hilarious, but in the back of my mind I was like, all right, I don't care if his drunk ass is doing this. People are finally gonna give Sean Garrett some flowers.
Well, that's the funny thing about the behind the scenes guys. You want to get some more characters that are willing to do some more funny shit than like a super duper star because they got to
He was
protect their image and corporate. Well, no doubt, no doubt. But you're not going to see Alicia Keys show up hammered drunk and making funny faces. Like it's not going to happen. So I hope that they do go back to that, at least like a undercard thing that we talked about. Like,
Well, one of my favorite verses wasn't a verses at all. Actually, it was something that I put together, which was Hit Boy versus Boy Wonder.
yeah,
And
Talk your shit.
man, I won't talk too much shit because if that happened 4 to 5 months later for Hit Boy,
Would've looked a little
this goes way different. Like it was early on, but I think that was one of my favorites, along with fucking Tim vs. Swiss early on. We'll get into our favorite verses.
Hit Boy
later.
dropping that Nipsey thing Nipsey verse on Sean record might have been the best moment of all the verses, in my personal opinion. That was the most
That was a
memorable
big
thing to
moment.
me.
It was really dope.
Yeah.
And I mean, just shout out to the people that were early on the shit, because I mean, and again, I don't know their business, nor am I asking it.
Wait,
But
and you're a podcaster?
I mean,
You don't know
actual-
their business?
their financial
You don't know their finances?
Like, I think people like Boy Wonder and Hit Boy did this just to feed the fans during quarantine. Like,
Yeah.
I know everyone now with Versus gets a bag, their streams go up crazy, they benefit. Like, I think a lot of legacy acts are like, I can't wait to get that Swizz call because I know
Yeah.
how much money I'm about to get off this shit. They was on IG and their own studios doing this shit for us. Like,
Right.
that early Versus cast, we need to give credit to.
Yeah.
Like, Dream just don't do shit. And
Yeah.
Dream did that.
Yeah.
Like, he did that for us.
Facts.
I don't know if he got money, but either way, it was on IG, and they was just doing shit for fans in their living rooms that were miserable. Like, I can't do shit.
Yeah, I'm
So I
glad
have
from
to
a
give them
production
lot of credit.
standpoint that they moved on because it was an
Me too.
absolutely horrid experience listening to it, but it was more fun when it sounded shitty.
Well, that Hit Boy and Boy Wonder battle, that definitely accelerated both of their careers. They were both two very good producers already, but the artist that Hit Boy
What
is
that
going on to work.
accelerated for Boy Wonder?
Oh, wait till you see who he is in the studio with. I've been talking to him. He been in the studio.
But you don't think the
Some
two of them
names.
was already in those studios before Versus?
who Boy Wonder's working with, he hasn't.
Boy Wonder works with Drake.
I know, but who he hasn't.
Hit
who he-
Boy works with Beyonce.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there's other.
I'm sure
Boy
the inside
New
scoop.
Drake? Oh man!
there's other-
Boy Wonder found the new Drake.
There's other legendary artists.
You made Drake make another one?
I know there's other legendary artists though. It's
got
not just
the
Drake.
Lost One reference.
That's all.
I'm all cut the
I saw what
inside
you
scoop. I'm all Rashad.
Legendary artists. I mean, you know,
Well, tell us, nigga. give us the sneak peek.
Can't spill the beans here.
can't do that.
Who else could Boy Wonder be in the studio with that he hasn't been in with? Michael?
We'll see.
Prince?
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
2021. God willing.
Why you didn't get Coogee down to your socks?
We didn't see it. Well,
Nike
I was never a
socks.
fan of the Coogee sock.
Not Nike socks.
I like the
with Coogee.
mismatch.
Oh.
Christmas, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, you know. Never a
holiday
Coogee
shit.
sock.
Not Nike Tech socks with a Coogee.
Yeah, you know what
I
I'm saying?
should go though.
No, you're not
Comfortable socks.
big. You're not big.
Yeah.
The Grammy debacle.
Yeah.
The first one and the second one. There was two, I think.
The Grammys that happened this year.
Yeah.
We'll start with.
Was there two?
2020
What was the?
February.
Well, the Grammy announcements
January.
that just happened recently, and then the
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah.
Both of them.
yeah, the Grammys is a mess. Let's just
I'm talking about
Shit show.
Yeah.
when Shorty from the board got busy and was just like, yo, toxic, all of them is corrupt. The lawyers, the managers, it's all corrupt. And then she went on, She did the press run. She was on Good Day New York.
Was this year the year that the main dude of the Grammys was on some women need to work harder shit?
Yes.
That wasn't this year.
No, that was last year.
Okay. Either way, we know that what's up.
Yo, that was fucking
That
nuts.
was crazy.
Especially because he came out that shit like a press conference. Like, he came out and was like, yo, I know we didn't have any women. Maybe they need to work harder.
That was crazy.
Well, if that wasn't this year, it was carried over into this year when Shorty, and not Shorty, I need to get her name. It leaves me at the
That's
moment.
what the head of the Grammys was saying. Shorty need to make better music.
While women are making all the best music of
Word.
the year. That was insane.
Women running every genre ever.
The Grammys fucking suck. I'm sorry.
Oh, there we go. Deborah Dugan.
Yeah, there you go.
Deborah Dugan. I watched Deborah Dugan on plenty of news outlets, and she was perturbed at the Grammys. That was a big thing. For me, it was a big thing. Y'all just seem to gloss right over it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but it's cool. What else? What else was big? Big moments.
Fun moments, or do we want to get into the
Go
shit?
get my paper. I'll fucking tell you what.
No, I know.
I'll tell you what was big right now.
I just don't know if I want to get us into that place yet.
Yeah.
If we want to go there, we can go there.
Where's there?
George Floyd. Change the entire year and probably next decade or 3.
Yeah.
Well, that was the one.
That was a worldwide reaction, and that was terrifying and sad and beautiful at the same time. Seeing the rest of the world protest with us.
Yeah. People that were in America, people that didn't really have to because it didn't affect them directly.
Right.
I thought that was beautiful.
It finally felt like that enough is enough thing that I feel like
Everybody
is
felt
a
it.
sentiment that happens after every time we see these unfortunate videos of black men and women being killed by law enforcement. I feel like every time it's been like, yo, this is enough, and then life gets back on track.
Right.
This was the first time where I felt life did not get back on track.
At least for a little while.
Change is
We've
going
seen
to
some
happen.
since, unfortunately.
Yeah. I know. I'm not saying it stopped.
It's not
but
fixed.
For the first time, it felt like, no, we're not going to be quiet anymore. We've been through this with multiple names, and I've always felt like people have just moved on after a month until the next one.
Yeah.
This finally felt like, nope, not anymore.
Yeah.
This is going straight to the top with this one. And
Yeah.
things are going to change completely off this one.
And we're not there yet, but it felt that way at least.
Felt like
for a little
felt
while.
like a genuine start.
Yeah, it wasn't, but it was unfortunate because then shortly after George Floyd, we had Breonna Taylor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like, you know, you look at the situation that's going on in the world, and then something like that happens. You know, it just shows we have a long way to go. But I do like the fact that the world woke up, and you know, we were all had one message. And we all
This
had
year
one
wasn't the year that we lost our Dallas guy, Botham, right? That was last year.
That was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
It's
last
just
year.
carryover effect with all of this shit, man.
But racism is worldwide, not for nothing.
Absolutely.
You know, it may be worse in America because of our history, but it's everywhere.
I mean, it's
everywhere.
it's rooted.
It's everyone's history, you know.
Plenty of countries, but
But it was a beautiful thing to see unification across the globe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts hearing the word beautiful
I know.
attached to this.
I know, and I don't mean.
But I
to-
do understand
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
the aftermath and the after effect and the result was powerful.
Yeah. Powerful is maybe a better word.
And that George Floyd stuff seemed to hit so close to home. It's almost like when somebody you knew caught COVID this year, and it changed things for you. Like the fact that Steven Jackson was so close to George Floyd before the world knew about, like, it was too close to home for me.
Yeah.
But it did feel good to see the world stand up like that. It felt good to hear new conversations being had, like defund the police and just all of these different things. But all of the protests, nationwide and worldwide, I think that was a big thing too, that there were protests across the world for some of the things that were happening in America.
Yeah.
And that felt good.
Yeah. And granted, like I said, racism is worldwide, so they were probably standing up for shit that's happening in their own country that maybe we aren't as aware of because they're not as media driven as America may be. or whatever. But it was nice to see that unification, and very long overdue. Very long overdue. Rest in peace, George Floyd.
Rest in peace, George Floyd,
peace,
Breonna Taylor.
Rayshard Brooks.
Everybody who lost life
Roger
this year.
McClain.
Yes. On a much smaller scale, of course, coming off of that topic, the sports world adjusting to quarantine and COVID played a big part in the year for me. A lot of our entertainment was affected.
Absolutely.
Big time.
Absolutely.
I didn't think we would get sports at all this year, honestly. I thought we would get a little week or 2 or 3 or 4, and then it would be shut down. But they've managed to get through a sort of entire season of NBA, most of the season of NFL thus far.
They've started the new season, the next season of the NBA. It started. I know Rory and I was joking around a lot about this, but I felt like at that time, a lot of people were looking to see how the NBA handled this, to see how they would handle it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of skepticism, but somehow they figured out a way. All of the moments where entertainment found a way saved the shit out of me going crazy in my house. Like, that's going to be a reoccurring theme for me. I never thought the NFL would finish their season either.
At all.
But the fact that they're about there.
Yeah, we're close.
I mean, my fantasy season is shot to shit.
MLB too. I could have sworn NFL and MLB. I was like, oh yeah, this isn't gonna last another month.
I thought MLB would have the best chance until like 3 teams got wiped out early on.
That
I
is
thought the same thing too. I was like, MLB should be fine, and then the amount of people in the first 3 weeks, I was like, oh, they're not gonna
I
finish.
thought
the season.
NFL would be the one that didn't make it because you're literally in dog piles
Fucking
every
120
play.
my second man of the year. As we talk, I'm going to figure out my men of the year. What's the fucking pitcher from the Dodgers? Is that Clayton Kershaw?
Maybe, yeah.
The guy that made it to the big dance every fucking year, only to not finish the job. One of the greatest regular season pitchers in the history of the game, to choke like we've never seen him choke. And they won it with no fans in the stands. Clayton Kershaw delivers.
Yeah.
Nobody is happier than Clayton Kershaw that no fans were in the stands for sports. Seriously.
Adam Silver would also be my man of the year.
Literally just about to say, Adam Silver has to be up.
Adam Silver's in it too.
And George Floyd, rest in peace.
Adam Silver presidented better than our president.
They gave
Like,
out money to
How
teams.
you got that whole shit through is crazy.
They got everybody locked in the house and okay with it, relatively, except for Paul George.
What other moments were this
All the
year?
IG out of the bubble.
Or didn't, did it in a good way.
Some of them got through. Some of them snuck in there.
Some gave a couple dollars to Adam.
Yeah.
Oh my
Left the name on the
God.
door.
We did lose Regis this year.
Yeah.
We lost Sean Connery this year.
Yeah.
Fred the Godson.
Let me just read out the list of names of
man.
people that we've lost. Kobe Bryant, Gianna Bryant, Chadwick Boseman, Little Richard, Alex Trebek, Ruth Ginsburg, John Lewis, Eddie Van Halen, Betty White, Don Larson, Kenny Rogers, Cliff Robinson. Damn, Cliff Robinson died this year.
Uncle Cliff. Right?
Andre Harrell family, we love you.
Jesus Christ.
Bill Withers, Regis Philbin, Sean Connery, Jerry Stiller, Caroline Flack, Naya Rivera, Fred the Godson, Charlie Pride, Black and Mal, Troy Sneed, Pop Smoke, King Vaughn, Mo3, FBG Duck, Nick. This whole year was darkness, sadness,
Eugene Farrell.
death,
My grandfather.
right around the corner. Rest in peace to your granddad. Like, Blue Benji Kobe shot in broad daylight weeks after signing a record deal at 24. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been hard.
It was a rough year.
It was. I was mixing a Fred the Godson record when he passed.
Fred, we miss you and we love you, man.
Absolutely.
Do we have any more moments that were big? All of the presidential shit was big.
Yeah.
All of the COVID stuff was big.
I feel like so much of the George
Our
Floyd thing
our
tied
PPE
into
checks,
election.
our PPE checks,
That as well.
stimulus checks.
The stimmies that did not stimulate shit except for the rich. Amazon got stimulated pretty good.
And Shake Shack.
Shake
but
Shack.
they gave it back.
Yeah. All
The
guys
scammers
bought
that thought of
Lamborghinis.
new scams this year, like, oh
All
my
going to
God.
prison next year. Don't worry.
They're going down.
Oh, don't you worry.
Oh man.
I love when people think they figured out how to
figured
get past.
shit out?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you think the government doesn't have the best accountants in the world? Okay, they'll
How
find
do
it.
people commit crimes in 2020 and moving forward?
Facts.
How do you commit a crime now?
Yeah, everything is right here. We're on the
crazy.
cameras that everyone has at their house.
It's crazy.
Like, how you commit a crime and you pay a cell bill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have the phone on you while you
Having
commit the crime.
Wi-Fi and committing crimes.
Instagram's listening the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
All right, do you guys want to have a heated debate now, or do you guys want to ease into some of this stuff?